My name is David Rich. On behalf of my colleague, Megan DeLury, and of course on behalf of Joanna Marinova, who's sitting in the front row, I want to begin by thanking you for being here and listening to this very important case. Now.
Absolutely. So I was also part of one of the community meetings that happened inside behind bars, and from that came a video project that was produced, Voices Behind the Wall. You might have heard of it as well. And once the men, however, started speaking out against the abuses, the administration just shut that down.
A particular incident with a particular prison you talked about, other than to say I want a thorough investigation, because I know just enough to get myself in trouble. I understand. All right, so let me get better informed. We'll get to the bottom.
Indeed, Governor. I'll talk to you after.
Flat bitch.
You know, I'm going to ask you, what are we going to do about that Corey leak, man? Come on. What about that? The Corey leak with Joanna Marinova and Fox and everything. What are we going to do about that?
Did you say Corey leak?
The Corey leak, yes. With Joanna Marinova's case and State Rep Fox, the whole thing with you know, Daryl Jones and all that. What are we going to do, man? You got to put it to bed.
Joe, it's going to be put to bed.
All right. Okay. I hope so.
So yeah, Mr. Jones, as you were saying, this was a situation where they threw you in the hole, they were reacting to you, and the governor said he was going to investigate things, and he never did, but yet as soon as they got you out of Old Colony, then the governor comes out there and talks to other people who were involved, when really you were the leader of this movement.
Well, you know, I like to just start from the point of, it wasn't about whether I was the leader, it was a joint effort among me and the brothers, and me trying to guide the particular brothers that were with me to a point of trying to do something better for our community. The initial point is that they come and remove me from the facility, place me into segregation for no reason at all, other than the reason that I had released a tape, you understand, and made a statement about what was occurring at that facility.
Right. They didn't want to hear that.
Right. And so now what I'm concerned about is that why did we never get a conclusion to this? And the only statements that I have, and letters that I have, is that, you know, the commissioner wrote Chuck Turner and told Chuck Turner that, you know, the administration overreacted, right?
That's right.
Back to the stimulus of the AAC program. So if they overreacted, my question is, how come I was moved and how come I was taken away from the program? And then for the governor to come to the program, it's a good thing that the governor would come, period, but to come to the program and talk to those same inmates and put the program right back up, and then come to Norfolk where they had transferred me and talk to inmates and sit with them, and the program is still right back up, but never speak to me. That was intentional avoidance of making sure that I wasn't being heard because I was raising the issues.
That's right.
The First Amendment right to raise those issues of the incidents and the occurrences and things that were occurring at the particular facility, OCC, Old Colony Correctional Center, at that time. You know, what was going on in terms of the race relations, in terms of the abuses and the things that were going on with mental health, and the things that I felt that just had to be spoken out. I was at my breaking point, and I felt like I had to say something. And when I did that, I was taken to the hole, to segregation. And I had no idea that Rep. Fox was coming to the segregation at that time, but the point was she came specifically to get information that I had stored up and records that I had kept that were offered to Ms. Heffron as well, when she was in public safety, to get this information of facts that I had about what had occurred for so long. And they put me in the hole under circumstances of never telling me really what it was, but masking them as something I had done. In each occasion, there was this appearance of something I had done, yet I never received any report, I never received any hearings, and I never was spoken to or seen by anybody in this investigation.
Right.
The whole plan was to get me out of, because this was the issue that I had to raise. The plan was to get me out of Old Colony, to cut off my First Amendment right to speak out.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, Mr. Jones, I recall, because I had Governor Patrick on video with me several times promising he was going to get to the bottom of this. And that's an exact quote from him at a church. And he said he would get to the bottom of this with regard to all these Corey violations involving you, leaking illegal and incorrect information about you to the general public by and through defendants Van Sack and the Boston Herald. I'm sorry, so please continue.
Well, what I was trying to get across is that, you know, sources, but of course we know who they are now. But without that investigation by the governor, no one's never spoken to me from the governor's office. Without that investigation by the commissioner who was here at that time, Plum, or any continuation of the investigation, no one has ever spoken to me about it. They left me in a situation where it really jeopardized my family to even have this case go on, to talk about this case, because I am the one that's constantly has to be in the environment of the Department of Correction, in the environment of the officers, in the environment of the retaliation. And of course, I'd be wise enough not to want that to affect my family. When I say my family, that doesn't, until I am divorced, and whatever the personal matters are between me and Mrs. Marinova, it is still my wife. And at that time, she is part of that family. So to initiate, take my statements out of context, or without...
Information was leaked. There was a complaint against him that was not sustained. And this young lady named Miss Marinova was accused of having sexual relations with this man in prison, so that they could dissuade, any kind of motion that was in motion, and he could have impetus toward prison reform. And it looked bad for State Representative Fox. That wasn't her fault. And it looked bad on Miss Marinova. That wasn't her fault. And so I took this information, I blogged it, and I sent it out to counsel. I put it all together for them, and now they've accepted her case for defamation against the Herald and Channel 7 for spreading these false rumors. But the bottom line is, it took all the attention away from a good man and a good project and a good effort. And so, the fish rots at the head. And I want you to take note of this.
First of all, I know a little bit about this case, not enough to be authoritative tonight, but a little bit about it. It gives me a chance to make 2 points. First of all, I don't want a prison system shrouded in secrecy.